Yo, what up, peeps? What's up, y'all? It's ifeigle, FLOWTOX. January 1st, 2021. Happy New Year to everyone. It's been a long time since I have broadcast myself, but wanted to try to start anew. Probably won't start anew, but just keep talking. Probably end up just keep doing what I'm doing, what I have been doing, what I stopped doing. I'll pick it back up. Anyways, it's nice 30 degrees. A true New Year's Day. If you ask me, a little snowy on the ground, a little icy. Anyways, got over the holidays, so it's sort of a tough time to deal with, I feel. For me it is. I have a hard time with the blatant consumerism and waste and the greed of the holidays. But I'm just trying to change how I accept things and accept that I can't control what others do. And it's more gracious to accept a gift thankfully than to try to chide the gift giver on how they should be gifting you. It's very tough, but hey, it's a new year, new challenges. Out here pushing myself and just going for the gold, I guess. Whatever that gold might be. That is the alchemy of life, isn't it? Trying to make the base material of this life into gold. So it's the alchemy of itself, I guess. That's what I'm pursuing, and really been thinking about how to, the shadow, the Jungian shadow, and how to sit with it, and how to embrace the bad, and how I've learned to do a lot of that with quitting nicotine. I feel like I should be really clear about quitting smoking. Yes, I did quit smoking cigarettes, but I also quit nicotine cold turkey. And that is the true demon of the nervous system. The addiction is sort of the truest and darkest sense of the shadow. And as many people know, addictions lead to having our worst, most base desires control our every thought, our every decision, and betray loved ones and hurt loved ones and betray ourselves and hurt ourselves. And for most addicts, I've never overcome an addiction to hard drugs, but nicotine very much is what I've heard is the most addictive substance on earth, and it's widely available and it's easy access, and it's quickly ingested, and it's a very hard demon to escape from because it's so ubiquitous. But you have to sit with the demon just as much as you try to hold on to all the good feelings, and try to sit with the good feelings and make them last, and try to repeat them as often as possible. You have to sit with the bad feelings as much as you do the good feelings. You have to be the dark and feel the dark in order to feel the light. It's only by contrast that we see the images. We have black and white jutted up against each other, and it's the contrast between the two that gives us definition. Gives us definition of ourselves gives us definitions of what love truly is, or what hate truly is, or what pain truly is, or what need or desire. What any of those are, they're only defined by the contrast of what it isn't. And that creates the whole feeling, the whole experience is the contrast between the two. The inner conflicts of self are, you know, I'm not saying it's always black and white, polar opposites. There are many poles. It's a multipolar monism in which every point of the sphere has a zenith and a nadir, in which there is the apex of the wave and the dip of the wave. And those happen between light and dark, good and bad, love and hate, male, female, on, off, ones and zeros. It's a complete interconnected spherical web that is multipolar and dynamic, and the oppositional forces it finds operating within its boundaries. And each one of us, each node is a sphere in itself in which it is multipolar. The use of, now that I'm thinking about it, the use of the term bipolar, the designation of bipolarism is sort of like, man, what is I hear these terms thrown around by Sam Harris all the time, but is it a red herring in which the red flag you're given is completely wrong? It's not abnormal to be bipolar. It's actually normal to be bipolar. It's actually completely natural to not just be bipolar, but it's completely natural to be multipolar and to be hypocritical and to be complex and to be multiple shades of gray with white and black included. You can be everything, and you don't have to be one thing. We're not defined by our thoughts. We're not defined by our identities. We define ourselves by it, but even that's a facade. Deep down, it misses the mark of who we truly are. Any trying to associate what we do and think as who we are. Who we are is just a happening, is a flashing of the sphere, is an active node of the multipolar network. And one day our node will go inactive. It'll shut down, and a new node will come in, and the network will heal itself, and the operations of multipolarism will continue. Anyways, I do think bipolarism, multipolarism, these aren't bad things. What are bad things are the effects that happen to people. The bad things are the bad feelings. The bad feelings are the bad, they're the bad thoughts. It's happening to the person, in which the hemispheres in which are activated in this person's life are disappointing them, are not what's expected. And I think we get disappointed when all we know, or all we train ourselves to think about, is the good. Or on the opposite, there are people who train themselves to only think about the bad, and there is no good. It has to be both. It's Kanye Song. Today I thought about killing you. And It's sort of an eerie song, but it's so truthful. It seems so authentic. Because truly, the darkest thoughts only appear next to the brightest. And that's the only way we can know. We can only know the bright by knowing the dark. And eventually we can sit with both of them and not be so worried about existing in the dark place or existing in the light place, and we can just exist and accept it for how it is. And even though we might feel bad, we don't have to be bad. We can be the light despite. And that's just sort of how it works. I feel like that's how we have to operate, be the light despite. And that's all I really got to say about now. I think by doing that, guys, we can grow. We can all grow. And we can learn to recognize what truly is the problem and solve it. You know, we can, as we sit with ourselves and sit with our shadows, culturally, we'll begin to be more tolerant to sit with our cultural shadows and look at the problems we have with mass incarceration and the privatization of prisons and the defunding of education and defunding of social services. And we can sit with the actual, because a lot of people deny that it happens and don't sit with it and then say that it's all fake and vote against it. But if we can truly sit with it, look at it, recognize it, and inspect it, we could probably solve it. Because we will sit with the feeling, and we will, as we work with the problem, we will feel that it begins to feel differently. That the problem no longer feels as bad, but it feels better. And it feels like we are doing something because we know what the good is and we know what the bad is. But oftentimes we deny ourselves from actually truly trying to understand those two things. And everyone's complex, everyone's multipolar, everyone's bipolar. It is not normal to be. We are not an island, we are not a monolith. We are a complex of ancient and modern cultural monoliths that build up our identity, and that happened to us. It is all given to us, but we also have to make it for us. Anyways, ifeigle with FLOWTOX. Happy New Year, motherfuckers. It's 2021. Sit with the bad, and through that, we can grow. We can truly build upon our foundations and trust our foundations as solid, as we realize that our foundations are multifaceted and not a monolith. It is not one thing, but it is everything. Anyways, ifeigle with FLOWTOX. Hit up the subscribe button this new year. I'm trying to make a concerted effort to be a little more focused and concise with my thoughts, and to be a little more consistent in publishing them. But leave your comments. Hit me up on Twitter at I_FEIGLE, ifeigle on Twitter. Word up, ifeigle. Happy New Year.